As soon as you start up The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on your PS5 Pro, you get a prompt to immediately switch to the new Pro graphics mode. PS5 Pro still gets to 2 normal fidelity and performance settings, but this third new mode adds PSSR. With this mode, rendering is at 1440p and then it gets upscaled to 4K with PSSR. Target frame rate is 60 FPS. This means you're sort of gonna get the best looking graphics, but now at 60 FPS instead of 30. Here's how fidelity mode on the standard console compares to that new Pro mode. The results, of course, look identical. You can see from these overlays, these side-by-sides, how similar the 30 FPS mode on the regular console looks to that 60 FPS Pro mode on the PS5 Pro. Even when I zoom in 4 times, it's the same really. So PSSR upscalings, making things look identical to 4K rendering. That's pretty impressive. Now, to see a huge difference in the visuals between that regular console and the PS5 Pro, you have to compare performance mode to the Pro mode. And here's that comparison, the performance mode on the PS5 versus the Pro mode on the PS5 Pro. It's really easy to see the improvement in visuals here, the improvement in resolution. Everything just looks a lot more detailed on the Pro. I'm zooming in 4 times here, but you don't even need to zoom in to see the difference. Just have a look at all the foliage, the grass. It just pops and looks a lot better on the Pro. This might be the best example I've seen where the PS5 Pro takes a 30 FPS game, makes it run 60 FPS with PSSR while maintaining the best possible graphics and visuals. Now, what about those standard modes on the PS5 Pro? Remember, they still left in fidelity, they still left in performance. Here I'm comparing fidelity on both consoles, and you can really see that 4K rendering on both the standard console and the Pro. There is really no difference. It looks exactly the same. Same thing when I compare performance mode on both consoles. It all looks the same really. So Pro mode is really the only way you should be playing this game on your PS5 Pro. It almost makes you wonder, why even have those other 2 modes on the newer console? Perhaps even the developers think they're useless, and maybe that's why you get that prompt as soon as you boot up the game for the first time asking you to switch to the Pro mode on your Pro console. But you know what? There actually is a use for that performance mode on the Pro, and you'll see why a little bit later. Now let's talk about the performance, the FPS. Even on the regular PS5, this game has no performance issues. Everything is a solid lock 30 FPS in fidelity mode and a solid lock 60 FPS in performance mode. PS5 Pro, of course, delivers that same rock solid FPS. The new Pro mode is locked as well to 60 without any issues at all. I mean, you can't expect anything less from a first-party PlayStation game. They always make sure their games are fully optimized for their consoles. Now, when I'm doing comparisons, results being the same are kind of boring. We need to see a difference. So I tested that 120 Hz option, which unlocks the frame rate that exists on both consoles. You do need 120 Hz VRR display like this LG C4, and that might be really the best way to play this game. Here's a side-by-side of the performance mode on the left and that new Pro mode on the PS5 Pro. The difference between the 2 graphic settings here is essentially PSSR. So without PSSR in that normal performance mode, you do get anywhere between 20 to 30 FPS higher performance. If FPS is your main consideration, then you should choose performance mode on that new Pro console. It actually runs a lot of the chapters at very close to 120 FPS. Maybe that's the reason for still having those standard performance modes on the new PS5 Pro. When you do have PSSR enabled, that new Pro mode gets you between 70 to 90 FPS throughout the game. Here I'm showing the performance mode on that standard console. You can see that standard console is not going to get you that 120 FPS like we saw on the PS5 Pro. And really that new console at the lowest settings, that performance mode is getting about 15 to 25 FPS better than that standard console. And here I'm just showing that performance mode on the standard console versus the Pro mode on the PS5 Pro. I mean, performance mode on the standard console is gonna get you like 5 to 10 FPS higher than the Pro mode on the PS5 Pro, but As we saw earlier, that Pro mode does look kind of like fidelity mode on the standard console. I also tested out fidelity mode in this 120Hz display, and that gets you around 40 FPS on both consoles. Unfortunately, since the FPS is below 48, I can't really measure the exact numbers, and that's really why I'm not showing any footage here. I do want to talk about loading time as well. PlayStation's not advertising the PS5 Pro as being faster, but it actually is a tiny bit faster. Even with that larger 2TB drive, this scenario right here, continuing the game from dashboards, almost 2 seconds faster on the Pro. The Last of Us Part 2 isn't the only game where I see this advantage. I've seen it with other games as well, like Spider-Man. So that's The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on PS5 versus PS5 Pro. This game is perhaps the best example to see the exact difference PSSR makes to the visual quality of a game, as well as the exact difference it makes to the FPS. For the rest of the video, I do have more comparisons, so check that out and let me know if you spot something that I missed.
What were you talking about again? Both. Hey. Oh yeah. I think I found the courthouse. How can you tell? See that sign up there? On the building that says courthouse?
Constants. 25 constants.
Okay, Constance. Now we just need...
Oh, I checked this street a week ago. I can't believe you traded a pistol for this.
It's a lead.
No way that guy saw fireflies over here.
Stop. I feel good about this.
Well, I don't.
Come on.
We're under attack! Hurry! We keep them over there!
You should just apologize to her.
I just said... Okay, what's going on?
Nothing. Why?
I can tell when you're off.
Just got some stuff on my mind.
You let me know if you want to talk about it.
Okay.
Got stragglers.
How many? How many?
Just a handful. Just a handful. You want to give it a whirl? You want to give it a whirl?
Are you sure?
I'm feeling generous. Hordes like to move through this area in winter. They always end up leaving behind a few stragglers.
They do the same routes every year.
Like a migration or something.
What's that about?
Well, when the barometric pressure reaches a certain temperature.
Okay, here we go. It's out of gas.
God damn it. Well, what do we do now?
Oh, shoot. The note.
What?
The note mentioned that there's gas in the courthouse garage and the dome.
All right.